Hi, embodying presence. What is keeping us out of being present? So when I support people or look into my own system, it's usually connected to dissociation, to trauma I've experienced in my life, and also the trauma my parents experienced and the ancestors experienced in the womb, for example. So this keeps us out of being present, keeps us out of the cells, keeps us out of the nervous system, keeps us out of this vessel. So you see this as almost a sleeve, the vessel as a sleeve, and spirit needs to get inside. If there's information of a trauma from the ancestors that's in the nervous system, for example, or even in the skull is really important. So if I'm connecting to the top of the skull and I'm moving across, this represents my spirit getting down into my system. But if I have a trauma here with the male-female in the system, maybe mom and dad were arguing or talking about separating, this would create friction and it create a separation, a lack of trust between the feminine and the masculine. So I'm going to work very deeply with the skull. I'm going to work deeply in the system to bring you into a state of presence. 5D and above. What is 5D and above? 5D is really about being present. It's about not being in the past, not being worrying about the future. So everything is here in this space. So if you imagine a linear timeline in this system of the 3D, basically, that is a linear time. And in that linear time, there's trauma along that system. But in 5D, it's all in the here and now. So I'm actually transforming everything in the moment. So you're transforming past, present, and future at once. So what I invite you to do is to connect to being totally present. And when you're totally present, everything that is out of alignment will automatically go back into alignment. So the nature codes or Fibonacci codes or the tree of life, for example, is allowing yourself to be in a state of presence, accepting what's in your system and accepting to surrender and let everything go back into unity consciousness. So I'm going to be working very deeply through the system to find where your ancestors were disconnected from unity consciousness. That usually goes back all the way to Atlantis. So I'll be working with all these timelines to transform them back into pure presence. And then reunite with that version of you that's living 5D already and that is conscious already. And that part of you that was blocking yourself from coming in, this more conscious part, this more whole part, will be out of the way. And then you can drop into the body and the cells. This is what I'll be working with this evening in tonight's webinar. If you want to be a part of it. And if you can't make it, we're going to record it. So you can be part of the recordings as well if you can't make the dates. And they're meant to be repeated. So each time you repeat them, you will become more present and it will start breaking down old structures. In the world at the moment, structures are breaking down. There's a lot of crazy things happening, which is unimaginable, new laws, unimaginable behaviors by certain people, by authorities. And for me, the only way to transform that is to go inside yourself, transform your system till you've transformed that within you, and then raise your level of consciousness and go into the version of you, the version of the reality you're living that doesn't have that type of destruction or manipulation in the system. So it's about us transforming what's in us first, and then making a conscious choice to connect to the other reality where these parts are not playing out and not even in the system. So we can take these jumps. So before taking the jump is first accept what's in your system, clear your system, and then take the conscious jump to go into a reality where there is no manipulation. whereas there is no sacrifice or abuse. So I'll be supporting you to do that in this webinar this evening and tomorrow. So maybe I see you at the webinar. Thank you.